Papa Squat, coming at ya. Well, we've actually got something different today. I'm going to do an info dump here. And I do these, I think every time we've hit a big milestone. I think the first one I did was at 1,000, and then I've done it at 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, and now 30,000. If you want to watch any of those old ones, you can. They're on the channel. I'm probably going to go over the same basic information here. And basically what I do is show you the different screens that I look at as a content creator here on the channel. And I realized I moved this down yesterday and didn't move it back up. But look at all these different sections that exist here within YouTube Studio, which is what the program is called that I use, and just kind of take a look at things. I also answer some questions about myself, talk about myself a little bit. Everybody loves that, right? And so let's do that. First off, what I want to say is down below here I will include a link to the video of Lucky Bastard from Chief Keef. That was the video that we actually hit 30,000 subscribers in. We're now at 30,169. Nice. And yeah, so go to that video that's linked there, and in the comments of that video include the number, or just you can write a comment if you have something to say to me. If you just want to get entered into the drawing for the prize that I'm going to send out, just put the number 30,000 in the comments. It doesn't need to say anything else. You can throw it in with something else, but just 30,000. 30,000, 000 is the number you want to put there. I'm going to do the drawing on Monday the 24th of April 2023, which is coming up in just a few days. And you have to be in the US, you have to be delivered to by Amazon, be able to be delivered to by Amazon, and that's it. I'll draw somebody and get something sent out as soon as I can. There you go. So as for me, my real name is John. This thing, Papa Squat coming at you and Papa Squat checking out, I just did on the very first video. I hadn't even thought of it ahead of time. I'm a big believer in making stuff up on the spot, and that was what I thought of when I hit record and said I should have like a little intro thing in my head in the second that it took me to click on the button, and I was like, Papa Squat. Did that. I had already decided on the Papa Squat name to use for this. Now I kind of wish I'd used something else because I've got 30,000 subscribers. I don't know where this is going to top out at. And I know there are other people who have used that name, and I maybe would have picked something that was even more unique than Papa Squat. Papa Squat's a name that I came up with friends years and years ago as sort of my joke hip-hop name if I ever went into hip-hop. I also had a punk name, so my punk band was going to be called Chum Slick, which I also thought was pretty good. But that's where Papa Squat comes from. It's not something people call me. It's not a nickname I have. It's really strange when people refer to me as Papa Squat. That only ever happens here on the channel. I have never met a single person in real life who knew me from this and only from this. I've had friends who are like, oh, hey, it's Papa Squat, but it doesn't count. They know who I am. But yes, my real name is John. I'm from a small town in Wisconsin called Burlington, Wisconsin. It's not far from... well, it's not far from either Racine, Kenosha, Milwaukee, Chicago. It's kind of halfway between Milwaukee and Chicago, and a little bit to the west of those cities. And not far from Lake Geneva. I am a big geek. I've been collecting comic books since I was 10 years old. I still pick some up now and again, mostly in digital form, although now that Amazon has basically shuttered... I can't even remember the name of it, Comixology. I haven't really been picking much up, and for about a year before they closed Comixology and let everybody go, I was completely annoyed with how they had handled the transition from their old service to the current service that they use, and I hadn't really bought anything either, so it kind of sucks because I'm a big comic book fan. I love comics. I got into it, like I said, in about 1980. So I was there during the original Phoenix saga. I was not even able to pick up all those individual issues at the time. Picked up a lot of Spider-Man. Teen Titans was a huge thing for me. The original Wolfman, Marv Wolfman, George Perez run when they relaunched it in the early 80s. I didn't even know about the old Teen Titans from the 60s and all that stuff when I started collecting. But anyway, huge comic book fan. I used to actually work in, I'll get to that in a minute. I work in comics related stuff. Because I'm such a geek. Also, when I was about 12, I started playing D&D. I've been a D&D player ever since. I doubt I have gone more than a month ever of not playing or running a D&D game in the last 40 years. Yeah, that would be about right, because I'm 53 and I started when I was like 12 or 13. Love D&D, absolutely love it. I've published books. I've been published by Dungeons, or like in Dungeons and Dragons books, in the magazines they used to publish. I worked for Green Ronin, which is a small role-playing game publishing company. I was the head of their Mutants and Masterminds game line for 8 years. Did a lot of writing and editing for that, development work, and loved it. Absolutely loved it. The only reason I stopped was because of the stress of a divorce. Which also then made me alcoholic, and that sucked. I would love to get back into doing game design, game writing, game editing work again. I just love it. It's like what I am the most passionate about and interested in. Music is just a hobby for me. It's something I have always just enjoyed, and after 40 some years of listening to music pretty much nonstop, that's where this channel came from. It's just an interest that I have, and I was like, oh, I mean, I saw people, the videos that I saw that really inspired me to do this were two younger black African American people. I don't know if they were brother and sister, cousins, husband, wife. I don't think they were husband, wife. Just friends, whatever. But they were reacting to really great old music from like the 70s. You know, David Bowie, Led Zeppelin, that sort of stuff, Queen. And just getting their reaction to it. And it was stuff that they had never heard before. And it was amazing to see them not only listen to it and first off, had never heard it before, which is the weirdest thing in the world to me, because I've heard all that music so much. But to have them hear it and recognize this, just how good it is. I mean, that stuff is classic for good reason. And I thought, it might be kind of interesting to have me, who at the time was like 50, like a 50-year-old guy, listen to current hip-hop and rap. And I specifically chose hip-hop and rap. And it really could have been any music, right? I could just say I should listen to any modern music. And the channel does a little bit of that now. I get a lot of alternative or even digicore or emo, not necessarily rap, emo rap. It's lots of different, hyper pop, things like that. But it all kind of feels a little bit hip-hoppy to me, sort of, maybe not. Maybe I don't really care about the hip-hop and rap thing about the channel, like that we must remain pure and only do hip-hop and rap. Because I think if somebody is interested in hearing me react to music, I'm happy to react to it, because I kind of love everything. But anyway, I thought it would be interesting for somebody who's 50 years old to react to music that probably most 50-something-year-olds don't really hear, don't really think about. And if they do hear it and think about it, they think, oh my god, what the fuck is that coming out of my kid's room? I hate that. Why does music sound like that? And I've just never felt like that about music of any kind, or really any type of art, whether you're talking about whatever, anime or TV shows or novels or video games, like, I love the new stuff. The new stuff is where all the cool stuff happens. And so to sit down and now have this channel that I specifically started out um, reacting to stuff from, the 80s and moving forward, 70s even, and moving forward. And that was because that was music, some of which I had heard, but a lot of it I didn't ever hear. And I wanted to familiarize myself more with it. Um, it seems crazy to say now, but when I was in my teens, 20s, even partially in my 30s, especially in Wisconsin, which I was there until I was 32, there wasn't a hip hop radio station that I listened to. There wasn't even one in Madison that I could listen to at all. In '96, I think Lauryn Hill really blew stuff out of the water with her album. She was, I think, Artist of the Year, won some awards that year, and there wasn't a radio station in Madison that was playing her music. So it was completely unfamiliar to me, and she ended up winning either that year or a year or two later the Emmy? Is Emmy music? I forget. It doesn't matter. But ended up winning music awards for the music she was putting out, and people in Madison were like, well, I don't know who that is or what she's done, and I was in the same boat. I was like, I don't know what that is. But anyway, so I wanted to familiarize myself with so much of the hip hop and rap music that's been out in the last 40, 50 years now. 50 years. This is the actually 50th anniversary of the birth of hip hop this year, and so it's just kind of a fun thing to do. Let's see. Started doing music it was very informal, right? I just like picked some songs and started doing reactions. I thought I was going to do like smart ass kind of responses to videos as I was watching them. And if you go back and watch like the very first video, which I think was Blondie Rapture, which was one of the very first songs that I ever heard rap music in. And the song has actually a really cool history, but that was the first time I and many, many, many people ever heard rap music, because it came out of New York City. Blondie, the group, happened to have a lot of connections with people who were in that scene. They heard the music and said, there is something cool and awesome here, and they wanted to use it in their music. And nobody thought at the time, like, what are you doing using, this predominantly and probably really very much at the time almost exclusively black, brown-skinned music, and taking it as your own and working it into this pop song, rock song that you're going to release. Like, what a weird choice to make. But they, I think, had the support of people like Fab Five Freddy, who, was part of their scene in the New York music scene. And it's just the coolest thing. So, I heard that as a kid, probably 10, 11, 12 years old, and I was like, wow, that's kind of neat. I mean, I thought it was very weird. It was very different. Then I heard things like The Message from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and I heard Grandmaster Flash on the Wheels of Steel, and more and more and more of this stuff, and it was very interesting to me. I can't say in my teenage years and 20s that I was like a huge hip hop and rap fan. Not at all. There was stuff that I liked, and there was stuff that I just didn't ever really hear. And certainly some of the harder stuff is the stuff that I didn't hear. NWA never, I mean, like, I would hear it playing from various dorm rooms and things like that, but it wasn't music that I listened to. At that point, I was listening to alternative music, everything from Oingo Boingo and U2 and REM to, who would be some weirder groups, Big Pig, A House. No, that's not it. James, that was it. Just a bunch of different stuff. A lot of British music, and I like the alternative stuff. That's what I was into. So anyway, this channel has given me sort of the opportunity to catch up on all that old music, and also to hear the new music that's been coming out in the last 10 years, 5 years. I mean, kind of from any time. And and it's the coolest thing ever. I have actually a playlist on my phone that it has become my default playlist of what I listen to, and it is, as you can see here, squat music, and it has, what have I got on here? 230 songs, 12 hours and 45 minutes of music, and this is all stuff that I've listened to on the channel and said I want to hear that. And I love this playlist. I absolutely love it. I just wish the randomizer were more random because I seem to get the same songs often. Um, let's see, what else? I talked about. So in my 30s, I moved out to Seattle in 2001. I actually accepted the job to move out here on September 11th, 2001. And started working for a company, a small game company called WizKids. We made little plastic miniatures. This is not one of their miniatures, but this size. So I worked for a miniatures company, and we made the game was, or the company was owned by Jordan Wiseman, who created the MechWarrior line of games. But at the time, those were purely tabletop. I think they were just starting to be made into computer games at the time, and yeah, in fact, it was MechWarrior. Yeah, because before that, when it was tabletop, it was BattleTech, and BattleTech still exists and it seems to be going strong. Um, but I worked on the BattleTech miniatures game. I worked on Mage Knight. I worked on HeroClix. I was the HeroClix game designer for four or 5 years, like in the early years of its existence, because I was a huge comic book geek and had a ton of comics knowledge, except for Batgirl, who everybody said my Batgirl miniature was terrible, terrible, terrible. Just not designed well at all, and I probably agree. And ended up leaving there really at a bad time. Then the economy went to crap in 2008. Had to start taking like gig work for Microsoft and other companies, and just jobs that were leading nowhere. Took a job working for Cryptic Studios down in California and worked on their Champions game and their Neverwinter game for a couple of years. Also kind of a waste of time because it was using proprietary software that wasn't transferable elsewhere. And I ended up moving home, taking more contract gig work. Basically, don't really have a career to speak of, which is frustrating as hell to me to this day, because I know what I'm capable of doing, and nobody ever seems to be interested in giving me a chance to do that. I happen to be a very good manager of people. I happen to be very creative. I happen to be a pretty decent writer and a good editor. And nobody gives a shit. So it's very frustrating for me. Right now I'm working a contract for Microsoft for a consulting company that hires me out to Microsoft as a writer and editor on their Xbox support stuff. So if you go to Xbox and search for answers to a problem like why won't my Xbox start, it's entirely likely that I have touched that page at some point and changed some words on it or rewritten a little bit, something like that. And there's thousands and thousands of pages, but I've been here a couple of years now and have kind of touched a lot of the most popular pages for obvious reasons, because they want to keep those updated. I live in Bellevue, Washington currently. I've been here for 22 years. I've lived in Renton, I've lived in Seattle, I've lived in West Seattle, and I've lived in Bellevue. And Bellevue is where I am right now. I'm divorced. My divorce, like I said before, made me become alcoholic. I started this channel when I was still drinking, and you'll hear me talk about my experiences as an alcoholic and drinking in a lot of the video reactions that I do, and sort of how I use that to relate to a lot of the music, because a lot of people who create music have issues with drugs and alcohol and dealing with mental issues, whether it's depression or whatever it happens to be, right? I have a touch of depression. It was much, much worse after, say, my divorce, but now it just sort of makes me feel bad somewhat regularly, and that is also exacerbated by lack of career. 53 years old, have nothing to show for it. I really need to get a new job. I really need to make more money. I love that this channel even gives me a little bit of money. It has saved my ass multiple times in the last year just to have an extra $100 or $200 to pay my rent. And it sucks. It sucks that if I didn't have this, I would 100% have to be working a second job. And that might make my life easier in that I would be making more money. But it would, I would be miserable. I would be absolutely fucking miserable if I weren't able to listen to music like this. Not necessarily do the reactions. I mean, if the job allowed me to listen to my music as I was working, I would probably be okay. But music absolutely has always been one of the things that I can rely on to put me in a different mood. And usually it's a better mood. I talk about that a lot too in the videos. What else do we have here? What else about me that people have wondered about? This button-up collar thing, this was also something that I had thought about shortly before I started the channel. It was like I wanted to have like some costumey thing that made me different, right? I am not a button-up shirt guy. Like if I wear a button-up shirt, it's unbuttoned, and I have some geeky shirt underneath it, like a Magic the Gathering shirt that says Nope with the blue mana symbol in it, or Usagi Yojimbo on it, or I got a shirt a while ago at the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry, OMSI, with a Tyrannosaurus Rex on it that says Goat, and I thought that was a great shirt. But this is not me. I am not the buttoned up. I am totally geeky, but I'm not the buttoned up like dorky loser guy. I'm more the loser gamer guy who never grew up and instead wears clothes that make me look like a dorky gamer. That's really me. And I play D&D every week. I did not play this week because my girlfriend just started a new job. That's gonna help. But I don't like that she's working. And but I run a D&D game every week, every Wednesday. It's a pretty short game. It's only about 2.5 hours a week because my friends are all over the country now, and we kind of get together to just do something. And we have a good time. I'm running a game in Eberron, which is a D&D setting, in case you're a D&D fan. And I love that setting because it's very cool and noir-y and has some technology, and that's just really cool. My players are headed into the Mournlands currently. What else here? I don't know. If I think of anything, I'll come back to it. As for the music on the channel, like I said, I've got 220 songs downloaded onto my phone. There are a handful more that I wasn't able to find on Apple Music, which is what I use to listen to my music. And if I could get all those tracks, there'd probably be another 20 or 30 that I've listened to on the channel that I can't have with me because they're not available on Apple Music for whatever reason. I never ever thought I would get any number of listeners. I kind of thought I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it just for fun. If I get some people who want to follow along, that's great. Maybe I'll get like a few hundred, a few thousand people who happen upon my videos and go, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, and stick around in the comments and talk about music and do whatever. And 30,000, from what I understand, is a pretty healthy number, especially from Joe Schmo who nobody knows, right? I when I watch YouTube, which I do practically all day, it's Magic the Gathering content for the most part, and I watch Critical Role, some D&D shows as well, like Nerd Immersion and D&D Deep Dive or D4 TV, something like that. Just because it's interesting to me. It's information that I can keep up with what's going on in the industry that I would love to be working in, and it's easy for me to listen to because I'm already familiar with what they're talking about, so I don't have to pay full attention to it, and I still pick up a lot of stuff. I do listen to music on my own, mostly in the car. I don't really sit here when I'm working and listen to music other than when I'm doing my reactions. It's mostly if I go shopping, if I'm in the car, if I'm walking around on my own, if I'm going to the gym, I will listen to music. And outside of that, not so much. I also can't listen to some of my music because of my girlfriend's 10-year-old daughter, because there's a lot of swearing and inappropriate things being said, and she is a very sweet little girl that I don't want to corrupt just yet with my terrible offensive music. 1 second. My nose is a little runny. I am... Let's see, what else can I say here? I have very little filter. I find that I am very, very comfortable talking about just about anything. Lots of things that people consider super, super personal and off limits. I don't care. When I talk in my videos about believing that our reality is based on the information that we receive from our senses, I 100% believe that. If I feel hurt or offended, I will let you know that I am hurt or offended and why that is. And that's because I want you to understand what it is that I'm seeing and I'm experiencing, so that if you want to, you can change what you're doing to make me feel more comfortable. And I would expect the same from you. I have no interest, I have very little interest in seeing someone be uncomfortable. I'm a huge fan of humor. I've been fired for making a joke before. Was not a good day. That joke, probably one of the most expensive jokes ever made, because it has easily cost me, it's got to be coming up on $1 million now. No, that can't be right. $500,000 easily, because if I'd kept that job, I would have still been making $120,000 a year. It was very stupid of me. It was about my ex-wife, who is a piece of garbage. Let's see here. What else? I don't think there's really anything else. So let's dive into the other half of this video, which is looking at the channel dashboard and kind of showing you what I get. First thing I'll do, though, is I do collect all the drugs. I don't even know where that came from. All the songs that people send me. So these are paid reactions. I've taken away people's last names and the amount of money they sent, and I think my notes are also gone out of here. But this is just from here in March. This is line 388 in this spreadsheet. Taylor sent me some stuff from RBA Maine, Lil Mal, and King RBA. Song RBA Bricks? I just copy down what they send me, and then I have to kind of figure out sometimes what it is. Gabriel sent me a whole bunch of Sewer Person stuff to listen to, and as you can see here in this long list in this cell, Taylor sent me something. It's a link. I don't know what it is. Space Jam Bow viral performance of Win Some, Lose Some, directed by Devon. So I collect all this stuff. And if there's a yes over here, it means I've done that video. And there's, let's see, line 438, and I still have more to collect from my email and things like that. So this is paid reactions. Here's stuff from my patrons. If they send me an album or something, I note that down because I'm not going to just open something and dive right into an album. I need to set time aside to do that. I'm really far behind on albums. I did an album this last week that was only like 20 minutes long, and that's been sitting in my queue for 7-8 months. I mean, it's been way too long, and I've taken... People have sent me money, and I feel like I'm a terrible person because I haven't yet gotten to those albums, but I work a full-time job. I have a girlfriend. We only have one car. We have to get her daughter back and forth to school, which is like an hour away because when she started school, they weren't living with me, and they were living near where her school was, and now they are both living with me, and it really messes up our schedule. So I try to have these videos that I do reactions to take only about an hour a day, that at most, if I can. And sometimes it takes longer to upload the videos than it does for me to actually react to the videos. And that sometimes makes me have to stay up a little bit late, but I hate sleep anyway, so I need it. I'm good at sleeping. I just don't like to sleep. I would much rather be awake. There's always something to do. If I could stay awake all the time, I would. So this is stuff sent in by my patrons. If you want to be a patron, you can do so down here. This is stuff sent in from artists themselves that people have sent me and have said, hey, react to this. Punk Goth is the most recent person that I have collected some stuff from him. Love Punk Goth. A lot of these people are artists I've reacted to before. Probably quite a few more are artists that I have never heard of before, and they have sent me stuff. And like I said, I love to listen to new music. The coolest music in the world is the stuff that is new that nobody knows of, because it is literally the cutting edge of coolest, newest, most interesting music. It's at some point everybody started out as a nobody, and that's where if it is entirely possible one day that one of the people that I listen to on here, and I am the first person to have reacted to their music, it's entirely possible that one of them is going to be the next huge superstar. I honestly think that's possible, and I find that incredibly exciting. It's not gonna get me anything. It doesn't matter. I just think it's very cool because it would be awesome to say, like, hey, yeah, I remember this guy when he was 17 years old and just experimenting with stuff, and then people paid attention. Somebody like, I did not listen to him at the time, but somebody like Juice WRLD, right? Could have heard his music and just gone, holy shit, yes, 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 yes. And that's what I'm waiting for. And I think I've heard a couple of people on here that could, in the next few years, really, really turn into something special. Really, and it's amazing. I love it. I love that part of music. And that's where all musicians come from, is next door. These are all the albums people have sent me that I need to try and do. Lucas did not send me all these albums. These are notes that he included for some different things. There's a ton of stuff in here, and I really need to get back to more of it, and I apologize to everybody for not doing that. Okay. So you see, indeed, I do collect everything, and I try to keep up with my email and the different things people send me, but I am, 1, very busy, 2, definitely ADHD, and 3, have some issues with executive function problems. So sometimes I let things go a little bit long, so I apologize for that. Let's see here. So we were at 30,169. Now we're at 30,170. That's how I keep track. I used to get about 2,000 new followers or subscribers every 28 days. I think my highest was maybe 2,300, 2,500 even. I don't remember. Currently, I've dropped down quite a bit to 1,283, so about 1,300 subscribers in the last 28 days. It certainly makes it a much longer slog to get to these 5,000 new subscriber kind of milestones. Because at this point, we're going to take another 4 months to get to 35,000. And that seems very slow to me, but I had pretty crazy growth last year, so I think I have to readjust my expectations. And I don't care how much the channel grows. I really honestly don't. Like, yes, would it be awesome if all of a sudden I woke up tomorrow and I had 1 million followers? Yes, that would be awesome, because that would mean I would probably be able to do this full time. I could probably have enough patrons that they could, like, that could pay my rent, and I could have enough to survive on, and I could put more time into this, and I could do things like get t-shirts or hoodies made or stickers made and be able to just spend the time to do that. And right now I just don't have the time for that. I've been thinking recently, like, yeah, I should really do something like stickers or a shirt or something, just because it would be nice to reward the people who have been here, really what I hope is in the early stages of this channel, because I have no plans to stop it. Things may happen that make me have to stop it, like I need to get a second job or something like that, but I have no plans to stop it. And it would be nice to get something out there into the world that people could point to and be like, oh hey, or stickers that say go check out Papa Squat on YouTube, that people could put up in various places, and maybe that would attract some people. But it's really just a matter of time. So yeah, if I suddenly had 1 million followers and I was able to do what I wanted, this channel would be a big part of that, a very big part of that. I would love to be able to do more with this. And I know it's possible to get there. I know it's possible. I don't expect it. But we'll just keep plugging away, keep doing what I'm doing. I like to listen to music. I like to talk about music. I like to give my honest reaction to what I hear. Sometimes I feel like I'm too positive, because I'm naturally very skeptical and cynical. Not cynical. I used to be very cynical. I'm naturally very skeptical, and I'm an atheist. And when it comes to music, I really want to enjoy it. Like, I want to find something to like, because it is one of the things that I have always really enjoyed. Music almost never puts me in a bad mood. The only negative reaction I've ever had to music, and this is an interesting thing, is Jimi Hendrix gives me a headache. That is my one reaction, that I think is, even to this day, I think is really weird. When I hear Jimi Hendrix, I get a headache, and except for like Hey Joe, which is absolutely my favorite Jimi Hendrix song. I love that track. And just because it just hits you like a train. It's so good. Anyway. But yeah, I try to be honest. If somebody sends me music and I have to be really critical of it, or I feel like I need to be critical of it because I'm giving my honest reaction, I don't want to be a dick, because this is music sent in by somebody who has dedicated a lot of time, energy, and effort towards making something, and then they're brave enough to send it in to a channel that has a pretty decent listenership, viewership. So I don't want to stomp on them and say, oh no, don't do this, you're terrible. Like, you shouldn't make music. Like, get over yourself, you freak. Like, I'm not gonna do that because that's not honestly what I think. What I think is you obviously have passion. You just need to know more, and that's true of anything. If you're not good at something, you just need to do it more. I'm absolutely also one of those people who, if I can't do something well the first time I do it, I get very frustrated. But I also have grown up enough in the last few decades that I know I can't do everything perfectly the first time I do it. Most things for sure. But I know it just takes more exposure. It's like I said, your reality is based on on what you experience, and the first time you do something, you might not be good at it, but the 10th time, the 100th time, the 1000th time, the 10,000th time, yeah, you're gonna get a lot better because you have built those neural pathways, you have learned things, you have expanded kind of your neural network of information of things to draw on to pull in creativity to do things that you wouldn't have thought of before. That's what's interesting. That's when that's what I want to encourage people to do, is to continue to work on their craft, continue to work on their music, on their art, on their writing, on their music, on their presentation, on their performance. Just that's really what I want to try and do, because I can kind of find something to like in any music that you send me. The only music I don't really particularly care for is modern country music, because it's very and I'm sure this is a stereotype that I have. I could probably go listen to some modern country music that's really cool and different and fun and new, but all the stuff from the 80s and 90s just so turned me off that I'm not interested. I'm really not interested. And like my family members, I have 7 nephews, and they're all, I think all of them are huge country music fans, or at least a number of them are big country music fans. Most of them still live in my hometown, Burlington, Wisconsin. And anyway, let's stop talking about me and let's get into the channel here. So currently have 30,170 subscribers. Thank you to each and every. Oh, 69. Damn it, went back down. Went down 69. That's so funny. Hey, it's 420 today too. Let's see here. We are going to look at, this is the dashboard. This is usually where I come into when I have this open. I have it open all the time, so it's usually sitting on this page or the content page. These are the tabs over on this side. I might blow up this window as we're going through here so you can see things a little bit better. You don't have to look at my ugly mug. But this just shows me, so the song that I most recently uploaded is The Real Lil Reese from RXK Nephew, produced by Jordan. It is the number 2 track in terms of views out of the most recent 10. It has 73 views. Oddly, it doesn't show me the number 1 unless I go down here. It looks like this might be it. Winterhold by Ninetales has 54 views. Nope, that's not right. That's not the most views. But this just gives me kind of a summary of what's going on. So here's the most recent video, how many views it has, impressions, click-through rate, etc., etc. I can go to the video analytics for this. Here's some other published videos that I can look at that are recent. Yeah, Winterhold is the one that comes right after The Real Little Reese and Missing Piece, and Bros Obsessed and I'm My Worst Enemy. Latest post, so I do sometimes post things over into the posts section, which you may have seen some of at some point. I don't do it very often. I post like what I'm listening to right now, which are some playlists that I've been creating in the last couple of months. But that's what this section is showing me, is what's going on there. The second column has channel analytics, tells me in the last 28 days I've received 1,283 new followers, subscribers I should say, 145.7 thousand views, which is kind of crazy. That's down from the last time. Typically, I have between 168 and 206,000 views. Again, crazy numbers. Watch time in the last 28 days, 7.6 thousand hours, which is down from my 10.6 to 12.6 thousand hours. Again, crazy numbers to me. These sorts of numbers, this channel analytics section, this is the stuff that makes people do crazy things to get your numbers back up. I'm not gonna do crazy things. That's just, I don't give a shit. I don't care. If people want to listen to what I have to say about music, it's because they want to hear what I have to say about music. If they don't care, I by being an asshole or by dressing in a clown costume or by whatever, doing weird things just to drum up controversy, yeah, I'm not doing that. My channel is what I do with it, and I am not going to change that. Top videos in the last 48 hours, 12 Stout Street. That thing just goes and goes and goes. Well, you may have come here originally because of 12 Stout Street. I believe this was actually retweeted by RX Poppy. It's got something like 167,000 views. Again, for a reaction video from nobody, that number is insane to me. Swamp by Glock 40 Spaz is the other high one in the last 48 hours, and I'm My Worst Enemy full album is the next one. Most recent comments, recent subscribers, news from YouTube that I never even look over at this stuff. I don't even look at it. Content page. This is where all the videos live, and this is just gives me, as you can see here, let me blow this up on the this column here, the video column. You can see it gives me a little thumbnail, tells me how long the video is, gives me the title of it, and I can kind of quick jump to edit or to the comments and analytics and things like that down here. But it also tells me if the video is public or if it's been blocked for some copyright violation. It tells me if it has a copyright issue of any type. This one does, the next one doesn't, the next one doesn't, the next one doesn't. And this is just like, oh, it's blocked in Belarus or something like that. I don't know what the copyright issue is for this. It tells me the publish date, how many views it's gotten in its lifetime is this column. And then, so you can see this has, Real Little Reese has 61, Winterhold has 55, Missing Piece has 12, Bros Obsessed has 8, I'm My Worst Enemy full album has 188, comments 12, 5, 0, 0, 15, and then likes versus dislikes. I'm usually at 100% for likes, although I did notice there were a few down here at the very end that had like 97, 94, so I must have said something stupid or offensive or whatever about Thank You by Lou, or the Cypher Freestyle by Jen Carter, Kyle Rich, and Tata. But again, I don't care. You can disagree with me. That's fine. All I do here on this channel is give my opinion. That's all. I'm very upfront about that. I don't claim to have any special knowledge about these artists or their creative process or what they're trying to say or what they've gone through in their life. All I do is listen to the music. I might read their Wikipedia page or some snippet of information off of Genius or something like that. And that's what I know. That is literally all I know about them. So almost everything that I comment on is what I get from the music itself and the lyrics themselves. It's a weird thing to say. And from the lyrics, period. Yeah, there you go. That's that. If we go to analytics, this is a really interesting section. I might come back to this because there's a lot of stuff here. Here's the comments. You can see Uriah just left the comments, says, nah, you're the GOAT. I do go through and read these all the time. The only things that I definitely miss frequently are if people respond to me so like Fernbird and left a comment, first comment in a long time, and I responded, and if I don't get notified that people have responded to me when I put a comment in. And so sometimes I miss them, and I don't go back like forever and ever and ever. I don't remove comments unless they're super offensive, super stupid, or mean, because I don't want to encourage that sort of behavior in my website or in my YouTube page. For instance, this John Randall commented on an old Immortal Technique, the cause of death video, and he's talking about how all these things were proven. Let's see, less than 48 hours ago, documents came out that 2 of the hijackers on 9/11 were CIA agents. That would have been in the mainstream media if it were true. Just been declassified by the courts. Sorry that you're brainwashed by your government that you can't believe facts. No, I can believe facts. This is a very important thing, is if you can show me proof, then I will believe. If you can't show me proof, then I do not believe. That's it. So you can say there are all sorts of conspiracies and things like that, but again, your reality is the information that you're given, and I need facts to be facts and not just stories. The Bible is a story. I don't base my life on the Bible. There's some good things in the Bible. There's things that are, you should be a good person. You should be a good person. Just imagine if everybody were a good person, we would all be so much happier. If there weren't rape, if there weren't beatings, if there weren't killings, holy shit, what a fantastic world that would be, right? Well, yeah, it doesn't work. And the reason I brought this up even with this John Randall stuff is he said, I posted a link with a whole bunch of links to different websites with facts about this, or wherever they were, news sites, something like that, but you deleted it. And I was like, no, I didn't delete it. Maybe YouTube took it down because it's disinformation, but I never got notified if that was the case. So I don't know what John Randall is talking about here. I don't typically remove posts. I pretty much let this section just run itself. For some reason, I sometimes have comments here, none right now, comments in here that have been held for review because YouTube's flagged them as like, we think this is a little hinky, and I just click, typically approve, just because I want to treat people like adults, and there you go. So I go through here, I leave comments, I give people thumbs up because I want them to know that I'm paying attention. I don't know if they even know that it's me giving them a thumbs up. If somebody says something really stupid or offensive, or they're just being a jerk, I don't give a thumbs up because I don't want to encourage that sort of behavior. I typically don't delete the comment. Like, you can say a mean thing about an artist. I've had people leave comments on videos that are like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, don't be a dick. Like, I don't see you making music and putting it out in front of everybody on the internet, so shut the hell up. Let this guy do what he wants to do, or this girl, this person do what they want to do. Why be a knob? I don't understand that. But anyway, so I go through all this and look at the comments, read through every single comment. I don't just give a thumbs up. That's why you'll see like there's a couple here that I have not yet given a thumbs up to because I have not actually read the comments. That is that. Content, subtitles, I never do anything with that. Copyright, I've never looked at it. Earnings, this channel is not monetized. I can't monetize it. What I do is, this channel couldn't exist without the videos and songs being provided by the artists themselves. I would much rather have the artists get any earnings from their music than have it come to me just because I blather over the top of what they're doing. I can't profit off of their work. If you want to hear me react to something specific, I only do that now from paid reactions because I get so many suggestions for things that it's the only reasonable way that I can get to any of them is that I limit myself to only things that are being paid for. Um, I have people who have told me I should set a pay rate for everything. I think that's a great idea, but I'm very uncomfortable having that barrier be even that much higher. Like if I just said any song you send me is going to cost you $5, I think that's too much. Not even if $5 is not enough to actually pay for my time. Um, the job I'm working now, I'm making about 40 something dollars an hour, like 41 something, I don't know, $40 an hour. So if it takes me 10-15 minutes to react to a song, $5 isn't going to cover my time. So I just say, you know what, I do this, I limit myself to an hour a day. People only have a buck to send me, they only have a buck to send me. I would much rather let them have that 10-15 minutes of my time because they've bothered to send me $1. They've taken time out of their day to do it. It is worth it to them. So I'm going to honor that, and I'm going to react to the song. Um, anyway, that might get a little deep in the weeds, but it's I don't like even having to limit my reactions to only paid ones, because I know there's probably a lot of people who have fantastic songs to suggest to me that I just will never have the time to get to them if I don't do something to limit how many suggestions I get. And money is the easy way to do it, and it also helps me pay my rent. Audio library, never messed with that. Settings, I don't even think I've gone into this. Oh yeah, US does different uploads and things like that. No, go away, why won't you stop? Oh my god, no, what did I do? Oh, close, I see it down there. Send feedback. Yeah, I only use like these first 4 or 5 sections of this. So analytics is the other interesting thing. So channel has gotten 145,737 views in the last 28 days. Still pretty good numbers. Not as good as my highest. You can see here this, I'll make this bigger again. This section right here is pretty high. However, if we go to the advanced mode, no, that's not what I wanted. If we go to this right up here in the corner, tells us this is the last 28 days. I really love to look at lifetime because it makes me feel really insignificant. Oh, this is not making me feel insignificant. This actually looks pretty good. So you can see from October of 2020 is when I started the channel. October 23rd was the first video, and since then up until, what is this date? May of 2022, I had a couple hundred views on any given day, and then it suddenly got much higher on the May 23rd, 24th, 25th, and just kind of went on from there. There's a big jump right here at 22,657. I could go back and look at what that was December 25th. Yeah, I don't know what 22,657. I don't know what that would have been. But anyway, tells me in the last couple of years I've earned 30,000 subscribers, 149,000.9. Oh, it would have been nice to get 150,000 hours, watch hours. So, and that's also really fun because I like to multiply that out. So, 150,000. I'm just going to round up if that's okay with everybody. 150,000 watch hours divided by 24 tells me that's 6,250 days. So that's nearly 20 years. Is that right? divided by what? How 364.25 days or 365? I'm just going to say 365 days in a year. That's not the correct number. 149, 9. Oh no. Oh, sorry. I'm just very, very obnoxious right now. So 150,000 hours divided by 24 is 6,250. Okay, now divided by 365. 17 years. Yeah, so 17 years of time has been spent watching my videos. That's nuts. That's nuts. 2.3 million views across the lifetime of the channel. That is also a really super ridiculous number. And now we see the highest videos on the channel. Number 1, 12 Stout Street from RX Poppy. 167,000 views. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, covered by V of BTS. 31,000 views. Obedient from Blade and Echo 2K. The whole album, 27,000 views. MMA, 23,000 views. MMA by BTS. Ice Dancer mixtape by Blade, 20,000 views. And it drops off pretty quickly after that, so you can see kind of how things change over time. But I enjoy looking at the lifetime and seeing like how things change. Is it disappointing to me that my content is being subscribed to by fewer people in the last couple of months? Yeah, it's disappointing. Just because I felt like the 2,000 subscriber rate was really a pretty good clip. I was really happy with that, and I don't know what happened in the last few months. I haven't changed what I do. Like I said, I think it might be just because the channel is a little bit older and isn't maybe being served up to people quite as often. I've got practically 2,000 videos. Let me look at my phone quick because that'll probably be a quicker way to find the information. But yeah, I've got practically 2,000 videos, so I think I probably get recommended to quite a few people. Let's see here, 1.8 thousand videos. And so I think I get recommended to quite a few people, or I show up in a lot of, this section right over here if you're on like a laptop or desktop or something like that, where it recommends other videos to you that are somehow related. So if you listen to a Sewer Person song, you might see another video from me from Sewer Person or Ninetales, with my face sitting there next to the screen. But I don't know. I don't know how any of that's handled by YouTube. I don't know what has changed in the last couple of months to kind of make my numbers not be quite as good as they were. But again, am I going to do anything different? No, I'm not. I want people to be able to come to this channel and be like, yep, there's John. He's doing his thing. And I'm just going to keep doing my thing. I don't want to suddenly turn into like the wacky guy on the internet. Like, I am kind of a wacky, weird guy. I like to joke around and do things, but this channel is what it is, and I'm not going to change that formula. I'm not going to change what I do. And a lot of that is also because I have limitations on what I can do here in my shitty little apartment in Bellevue, Washington. Often when I'm recording these, like right now, my girlfriend or my girlfriend's daughter are asleep in their bedroom, and I can't be super loud. I don't want to wake them up. They need to get their rest. I'm the idiot who stays up late. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm so glad you guys are all here to follow along and send me music. I've said it before in other videos. It's like being best friends with the internet, or at least being best friends with the coolest people on the internet. And just the fact that you send me music to listen to and want to hear what I have to say about it, fuck, man. I love it. I just absolutely love it. I love music. I kind of suck at music. I would love to do production work on music. I would love to do that, but I know nothing about it. I played drums in high school. I love a good beat. You can hear me say that in a lot of the videos I listen to. Love a good beat. I love music. that's it. That's why I do this. I'm so glad that people who subscribe to the channel seem to enjoy what I have to say about music, my passion for music. I'm surprised that I'm happy about it, but I'm surprised that I don't get called out for being fake and too positive. But I really am not being fake. If I like something, I am going to tell you I like it. And if I don't like something, I'm going to give a reason for it, or as much of a reason as I can come up with for it. And ultimately, it's all just my opinion anyway. Music is so subjective. Any type of art is so subjective. But holy shit, the stuff you guys send me, is. Some of it makes me tingle. Some of it makes me want to cry. Some of it makes me just want to get up and jump around, and it's that's the coolest thing in the world, that music can do that to you, that an artist can do that to you, somebody that you've never met. So thank you. Keep sending me music. I love it. I've said that like 7 million times in this video, but it's true. At the end of the day, I look forward to doing my reactions because they let me change my energy level. They let me change my emotional state. They will, if I'm having the shittiest day, and I have shitty days because I get depressed, and I know my brain lies to me, but I listen to music and I get on here and react to it, and I feel so much better. And it's so good, and it's great to have an audience to share that with. Um, I've never met anybody who's actually recognized me from doing these videos. I've talked to a few of the creators who've sent me stuff, the emails, never actually talked to them, who've sent me stuff, who've said, hey, we should get together, we should do something, we should like record something. It's never happened. I'll love it when it does. I had one just in the last week or so that I thought was going to happen, and man, you all would have loved it. And it could still happen, so I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, thank you for being here and listening to me talk. And I am gonna go upload this video. It is 11:55 p.m. I have to go pick up my girlfriend from her job in about 45 minutes, and then I'm gonna go to bed, and then I'm gonna get up tomorrow morning and go to work, doing the most boring fucking job ever, but I need to barely make rent, so that's what I get to do. Thank you again. I will talk to you soon, Pup Squat. Checking out. And remember to go down here, and if you want to send me stuff, there's information down here. It does require money. I apologize for that. If you want to join my Patreon, that's down there. Also, please remember to go to the Lucky Bastard video from Chief Keef and enter the number 30,000 in the comments. Thank you so much. I will be back tomorrow with some more videos. Have yourself a good night.